Hey y'all, Rhonda here. Well, I got this stamp set in. This is a diamond press, which we love the diamond press. This is called Classic, let's see, Vintage Classic Stamp and Die Set. And this is totally awesome. So let's just open this up and look at everything. Watch your ears. Hold your ears. Alright, so we have our cutting pad, plate, folder. Any of these dies will work in any of your die cutting machines. Let me scooch down just a little bit here. So if you don't have a Marquee, which you really should because they are awesome little machines, and for the price they are even awesomer. No, they're really great machines. But anyway, so if you don't have one, just put it to the side. If you collect them, then you can sell them to somebody. All right, so here we have our roller skate, vintage car, TV. We have some records. Looks like the record player. We'll see what that goes to. Not quite sure yet. Let me grab a piece of paper here. So we have our TV, record player. There's some little goodies there. Old. Game show. So cool. That's to happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Love that television set. Then we have Is a Hit. But cool. You're vintage. You're a classic. Hope you're something birthday. We'll see on the thing. For the record, Let the Good Times Roll. There's the needle for the record player. Beautiful car. And then your roller skate. That's a great size. This is You're Not Old. Very cool. I mean, this is just endless what you could do with this. And then here is the sheet to show you everything. So I have a record player, the TV, there's your roller skate and all the little emblems you can put on your roller skate. Beautiful car. Cassettes, I remember those. Records, and then a couple of inspirations. I think today I'm loving the TV set. I mean, I love it all, but I was going through, I have some vintage paper, well, vintage looking paper, design paper, I should say. And this one really called out to me. So I thought we could use that with the TV. And I have, this color looks like it matches perfect. There's a little strip of black that I got out of my scrap pile. And then I think we're going to do a 5x7. I have one that's pre-cut, scored, and I think we're going to use that. So what I'll do is stamp. Oh, first of all, grab this. Have to fix my carrier sheets here. So most of you know, but if you don't know, I will show you quickly. You know, if you take the carrier sheet off, you know, one side, you set it down, you lose it, you drop it. It's just, you never get it back on just perfectly. So what I like to do is make a hinge. Let's see how it goes. I have my packing tape. So take a piece about yay long, lay it down. And just like the carrier sheet, you can't see the tape. Come on. All right. So we'll look at it like this. So I lay it halfway down, halfway up, or whatever you want to call it, on the tape. Take the tape and pull it over. Burnish it very well. And then take my scissors and trim off the little excess here. I do this on all of my stamp sets before I get started, because like I said, once it comes off, it never goes right back on, or it gets lost. For me anyway. So now we have, it's hinged, it's not coming off. and it goes back on the same spot every time. And there you go. You don't have to worry about it. So that's what I do to all my, oh, let me turn this just a little bit better. All my stamps. All right. Well, I'm going to stamp television on some alcohol ink, some marker paper. They call it marker paper because I'm going to use my alcohol inks to color that in. So let me grab all that, and I'll be right back. Okie doke. I actually stamped it a couple of times. I used different inks. Both of them are alcohol ink friendly, but this one looks like it turned out better. I had to stamp this one a couple of times. Anyway, so I am using my Diamond Press alcohol ink markers that I got in my mega marker set, which is awesome. I mean, it has watercolors and alcohol markers and pens and, oh, just all kinds of good stuff. So, and a nifty little case. All right, so we're thinking back in the 60s, 70s. So let's do, I've got some gray here and chocolate. I have a light chocolate and dark, or light chocolate and medium chocolate. I think that's what I'm going to use. Yeah. All right. So I remember they were wood and metal, I think. I mean, before my time, but I'm just thinking. So I always kind of swatch a little bit. Okay, that's the medium. Nope, that's the light. This is the medium. That's pretty dark. Okay, we'll see. We may just go over it a couple of times with the light here. Okay, so we know, we don't know. This is what ours is going to be. There's really not going to be a whole lot of shading. So this top part will be wood. Like so. And you can do shading with the same color by going back over it, because you see what it looks like now. And then if you go back over it, see how it's just a smidge darker? So you can actually do a little shading like that, because if the other one was a little dark. And with alcohol markers, you want to saturate. Okay, it's supposed to come through like that. And that's why you want to use marker paper, so you can get the best out of your markers. All right, and then this part will make this wood. Let's see. Let me see if there's a little natural or something in there. So I can do a little shading on this. Let's go around the edges. Let's see if there's a little bit of a neutral or a, let's see. I usually swatch all these out, and I just haven't taken the time to do that. It's kind of a brown gray. Let's see what that looks like. Do a little more shading and bring it together a little more. Okay, well, I'm going to finish coloring this. And cut it out. And we will go from there. I brought that in a little bit. And let's do the legs a little bit. Light. Go across here. Let's bring this other color in. Blend it a little bit. You know, these come with a blending brush, but it really doesn't blend. It just takes the color away. Yeah. I might see if I've got a little gold. Let's see if there's a pen or something in here that's gold. Let's see what this looks like. That's pretty yellow. See if there's a little more of a gold. I may have to go to something else. Maybe a bronze? Bronzy type. Oh, that's orange. Oh, but that looks better though. Let's just color this in. See, that'll give it a little bit of a, like a metal look. And we can also do that for this antenna. May have to go back over that just a little bit after it kind of dries a little. See, that'll give it a little bit of a sheen. All right. I'm going to finish coloring this in with gray and then do the screen a really light gray. And we'll see about the knobs. So let me finish coloring that and I'll be right back. Okay, for those of you who have never seen a marquee, this is what it looks like. It comes in several different colors. This happens to be the gold one. And we colored this in. Tried to make it look a little round. Okay. And if you're ever unsure about lining up your die, you can cut an aperture. Hang on. There we go. Because with those little lines, the antennae, I mean, you may think you have it, but if you're off just a little bit, it's not going to be really that fabulous. So you can make a template, an aperture, if you will, with a scratch piece of paper, and you don't even have to have it stamped. You just need the die. Okay, and then we're going to run it through the marquee. And you can use these folders over and over and over again. This one just happens to be sitting here, and why not? All right. Minimal effort, cuts like a dream every time. Never had any problems with it. Has a little suction. You just pull the little tab and it releases it. Okay, so this is an aperture. So you want this hinged so it doesn't move. Oops, I cut all the way through. Okay, but you want it hinged. Okay, and what you're going to do is line this up. See what I mean? You can't pick anything up off this. All right, you line it up, and this is what you're going to see when it cuts. So you can see exactly what you want. And then since that's hinged, and then you can kind of feel it in there. Oops, I'm moving the whole thing. Let me line this back up. Okay. Okay, so you can feel it in there. And tape it down, and then you're going to run all of this. Oops, keep moving it. You're going to run all this through, and you can trim this up so you can actually tape on the paper. You're going to run all this through the marquee, and then you can, like I said, this is exactly where it's going to cut. That's going to be the outline. Like I said, trying to get those lined up is kind of a booger. So let me cut this out and trim up this paper, and that kind of vintage-y, is that a real word? Let me trim that up and see what we got going on here. All right, the moment of truth. I ran this through, and hopefully, and you can even save your aperture, just put it in the, you know, however you file them, and then you'll have that all the time. So that's not too bad. All right, let's get rid of this. So like I said, this is your aperture. You can just, you know, put it with the other dies and keep it. Like I said, you can make it a hinge, but that's what you're going to see exactly through there. All right, so let me finish cutting this paper. All right, so we have all of our elements. Let me get this out of the way. So we have our retro TV. Let me get the card base here. So I'm using a 5x7 card base, and it's scored down the middle here. Like that's just a perfect match. And these are store-bought. I didn't make this. All right. So this is where we're going to stamp our sentiment. And put the TV. And then we have our retro paper. Excuse me. That'll go about there. And then I wanted to make a little divider line here with this black, but it is a little wide. So let's trim it down a little bit. Excuse me. This little We Are trimmer is just invaluable, let me tell you. Let's try this. I think it's like 10 or 11 bucks, and I use it all the time. Just for little things like this. A little more of it. That looks better. Well, I was trying to decide, are these black or brown? Now they look brown. I think I'm going to leave it because, well, I'm going to stamp in black the sentiment. So yeah, I think we're like this. And I may ink the edges a little bit. I'll have to think about that. And then let's see on our sentiments. What do we have? Let the good times roll. Your vintage, your classic. It's a hit. Game show. Happy birthday. Decisions. All right, I just thought we'd do this together. I did go ahead and ink up the edges of the paper just to give a little more definition. Put some pop dots on the back of the television. And I decided I'm going to put You're Not Old, You're Vintage. So I grab these. And where did it go? You're Vintage. You know, I know some people make a big deal out of the photopolymer and the, you know, I don't know. Acrylic photopolymer. I know these are not photopolymer as far as diamond press, but I have never ever had a problem with them stamping. They stamp beautifully. Better than photopolymer at times. So I don't know. People make a big deal out of it. I don't know what the big deal is. But anyway. All right, we're just going to line this up. I think that looks pretty good. I got a little smudge there. All right, let's move that out of the way and shut this. Love my little stamp press. Let's use some VersaFine Clear because that always stamps really clear. And oop, I think my ink pad is dry. Hang on, let's get something else here. My. There we are. My VersaFine, just plain VersaFine. I know it's good and juicy. Yep. Anyway, love the stamp platforms. I have several. I have Tim Holtz. I have this one. This is Couture Creations. Anyway, there's been several different ones out, but can't find them anymore. The Misty owner has seen to that. So, and I'm not a big Misty fan. Okay, let's just press that down. If you have one of these, just Little pressure. You don't need to massage it or, you know, I mean, give it chest compressions. Perfect. Looks fabulous. All right. Let's take this off. But yeah, these are really, really handy. All right. Let's put our card together. Let me grab my pieces here. I want to fold this just a little so I can see, since the color is just spot on. I want just a little bit of border. Let's make sure this is what we want. This one will go here. A little bit of border around. Oh, I'm going to have to trim that back a little bit. Yep, well, let's trim this. That's what happens. That's why we measure first. Where'd my little trimmer go? Right here. All right. I'm not a big measurer. I know a lot of people are. I'm not a big measurer. Okay. Put that back where that should go. There, a lot better. That, and then our little black piece, and we'll go more on the colored paper. And then that. I like. You know, we could do a little black border all the way around it to tie it in. That might look a little better. Let's grab a piece of paper and just see. All right. Yes, it looks much better. It anchors it. It just looks much better. All right. Some card base. We have our black paper here. Let's just go ahead and glue this stuff down, because you'll see what a difference it makes. One side look better than the other? Not really. All right. Put a little Nuvo glue on here. You can use score tape. You can use anything you want. I use score tape a lot of times. I use score tape in my for my journals. Okay, that down. And then, since I made this matte, I had to trim down these pieces. So let's ink up this side. I inked it up, but then I trimmed it off. So just, I didn't put any extra ink on here. This is just what was left on the dauber here. That just gives a little more definition. We're going to put this one down first. You know, this was hard, a decision on this set, because it's like you want to do them all, which I'm going to, but try to decide which one I was going to do for you guys. Let's see. Go down just a smidge. Okay. But I love that I had this vintage paper. All right. Excuse me. And then this one's going to go here. Oh, since I trimmed that down, I need to trim it down a little more since we trimmed that down. All right. I guess if you measure, let's trim this side off. You know, if you do some calculations, it's a little off there. Look, that is a little off. What's up with that? Let's see if this side's a little wonky. Nope, this side's better. Okay, we'll do this side then. And let's check out the other side. It's off just a smidge. Well, maybe we'll, let's see how big of a difference it'll make. Maybe it's, no, it's okay. It's okay, it's all right. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah. All right, let's put this down. You know, it's funny, some of the ladies will come in the store and they talk about making Christmas cards, or they're with a group that sends cards to the military. So they can send cards to their family. Does that make sense? And I mean, they're talking about making 200 cards. One lady was making 500. One lady made 800. I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And she said very few of them were just alike. I'm thinking, man, these ladies are rock stars. Even Christmas cards. You know, they'll say, oh, yeah, I make 90 or, 150 every year. You know, because they give them to their church family and, blood family and friends. And so maybe when I grow up, I'll be a rock star like that. I don't know, though. All right. I think it's coming together pretty cute. I'm sorry. I think this video was a little choppy. So I will do better on that. Had lots of interruptions and not making good decisions or changing my mind, You know how I am. All right, let's put this little guy down. And let's burnish this. I don't know, I've lost my bone folder. So we'll just use that. So what do you think? I think it turned out pretty cute. Did a little of the shading to try to make the glass look round, because they were, I think, pretty round back then. So anyway, I will see what we can stamp. I always like to do a little something inside, you can stamp a sentiment or whatever, but I usually like to do something that goes with the theme. Like, if I was doing the album, or the record player, I could do that. I don't know if this has anything. Oh, we could do the evening news. We could stamp that inside. Anyway, I always like to kind of bring it together, and I like to stamp something on the envelope also. Just a little something. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Sorry this video was a little choppy. I'll do better next time. And cards that you make, little trinkets, little boxes that you make, send them to somebody. Make their day, just out of the blue, because we all love Happy Mail. All right, until next time. Bye.